Legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers just appeared on the Pat McAfee show to talk about his decision not to retire and to continue playing football. And he said something interesting. He was talking about how he went on a darkness retreat. So his situation was like, there was a lot for him to consider as far as his age in the league. There was a lot for him to consider as far as how he had been treated by his former organization. There's a lot for him to consider when it comes to leaving his fan base behind, when it comes to exploring new territory and the possibility that he might win and he might not. And I thought it was interesting that what he decided to do was to go into the dark. See, there's a lot of talk about how damaging social media can be, but I don't think it's just social media. I think as social beings, we're so accustomed to going and seeking approval among other folks, other people who may have wisdom, who may have been there before, who may already know what you should do, that we don't take time to actually assess who we are and what we feel and believe, because there's really, if you think about it, no true place for us to go with those thoughts. It really is on each of us individually and in our small communities to allow each other to have the opportunity to actually go inside and see who we are as people in the dark. Research has shown that prolonged periods of time in the dark can actually reduce your amounts of depression and stress. It can increase your ability to reason effectively, and the effects can last for weeks after. Maybe there's something that we can all gain from going in the dark and turning everything else off. Because out here with everybody else, everything is subject to scrutiny. You get to see somebody living your dream. You get to see somebody coming to take your job. You get to see somebody that has the body or the spouse or the kids or the education or the job that you've always dreamed of. Out here is where we develop a sense of reality from a social standpoint. But what happens when you turn all of that off? What happens when you get alone? What happens when you search within? What I've noticed in my own life is that a lot of times I make decisions based on everybody else's input. I make decisions based on what will make everyone else happy and healthy and whole, which is a far cry from the person I used to be when I was a teenager. But as you grow up and as you get a job with responsibilities and as you achieve a family life and as you grow into the pressures of society, you're beat down into believing that you have to maintain this perfection that you set up in order to get that job, in order to serve on the usher board at church. Because if you slip, you might lose that job. If you slip, you might be cast aside. If you slip, they may not look at you the same way, or maybe your significant other will find somebody better. This is the risk that we feel we run if we be ourselves, if that self is opposed to what we believe exists for the world in the light. As a creator, your job is to tell the truth. Your job is to tell the truth as you see it. Sometimes that's farcical. Sometimes that comes as a response to things. Sometimes you assume the personality and identity of others. But is it the truth? How much of you truly exists when you're running the program of appropriate, when you're allowing yourself to be boxed in? Where can you find a little darkness to operate from, where you can turn off all of the noise of the world? Listen, there are a lot of incredible things happening here in Los Angeles. If you would like to connect with me, I encourage you to hit me up on Instagram at I am Craig Smith. Let's connect. My passion is getting people to places where they feel like they can be whole, be healthy, be honest. That was almost H's, but whole is spelled with a W, unless it's a hole, you dig? Please remember to subscribe to this channel, and the greatest gift you can give to me is sharing with a friend.